Hi, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Jerry, and I'm pastor of a small little charismatic group called Golden Rain Fellowship. And we're also doing some other things in other venues, but we won't get into all that now. Right now, I want to just get you to look at it. If you're a Christian and you have a Bible, get a Bible and look at Matthew chapter 24. And Jesus turned around and says quite a bit in there. He says, he starts in verse 4, he says, and he's talking about now. Some of that is, he's talking about how, because the Jewish people did not receive him, he's talking about how that Jerusalem was going to be destroyed. And because this, he says there in verse 2, he says, "See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another, it shall not be thrown down." Well, that's when the Romans came and tore the place apart. Anyway, let's look at some of this. And he's talking about now. He kind of switches from then to now. And you have to understand this, so get a hold of it. It says here in verse 4, it says, "Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, verily I am Christ, and shall deceive many." There are people out there that, there's one pastor turns around and says he's God. That he's God. He's a God. And he's got a big, huge ministry here in North America. I can't believe somebody would say that kind of stuff. And then it says, "You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, you shall not be troubled. For these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." A lot of people are thinking, oh, Armageddon's going to happen around the corner and the world's coming to an end and everything. You got to remember something. If you don't know the scriptures, the world isn't coming to an end. Not yet. Jesus is coming back here to rule and reign for 1,000 years, so it's not coming to end. And then it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines," that exists, "and pestilences," that exists, and earthquakes, that exists, in diverse places. There's the earthquakes in different places it's never been before. All these things are beginning of sorrows. That's what it says, the beginnings of sorrows. So that's the kind of stuff is happening right now. So it's the beginning of it. It says, "Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake." One of the things I noticed, we had an assembly here in Hamilton. Christians were down there at Tim Hortons Field. Now, here's what I see, and here's what I noticed. Nothing was ever mentioned about that in the media. Nothing was on the television that I saw. Nothing was on any media that I saw about that, except the people that were involved, that put stuff out there. That's kind of strange to me, because to me, this is a Christian nation. Now, if the Muslims had a big assembly, or Islamic people, or whatever, if they'd had a big assembly, you see it splashed all over the papers and splashed all over the news and on the news and on the TV and everything. So that's kind of strange to me. That's just what's happening. And there are people that are being killed over. I have a friend of mine in Bangladesh, and this young man told me that 2 pastors just got murdered by the Muslims because they wouldn't turn themselves over to Islam. They wouldn't go back. "And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another." And we have that going on even in our own family right now. We have some of that stuff going on. "And many false prophets will rise, and shall deceive many." And there's all kinds of stuff out there. "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel," it says, "this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." So this has to be accomplished. Now, right now, Golden Rain Fellowship is involved in some of that. And if you want to know anything about what we do, I would suggest that you go on Google goldenrain.ca and just have a little look at what we do. And then it talks about stuff that has not happened yet. and then it's going to happen. Okay? So all of these different things are going to happen, and then and this is stuff that we're at now, okay, and the stuff that's coming when that coming to that verse where the abomination of desolation appears and all that stuff. Well, the Antichrist has not yet appeared. A lot of people turn around. There is a spirit of Antichrist in this world. People that are against Christ. I had one man say to me one time. He said, "Anybody that believes in a virgin birth must be something wrong with them." And he was talking to me. And I saw a person that had a master's degree in theology that turned around and said it's not possible for a virgin to bear a child, have a child. Well, it wasn't done with their understanding. That's why. Their understanding is the Holy Ghost came upon Mary and brought the seed of the Son of God and planted it in her. So that's how she became pregnant. It's a simple explanation when you think about it. Anyway, I'm just giving some of this information out there because I want people to realize what times that we're in. So take everything with a grain of salt, okay? And just be wise. Be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove, okay? As a Christian, witness where you can. Time's going to get short now. One of the friends of mine who was a true seer of God, a true prophet of God, he gave us this, before he passed away, he gave us this little tidbit. He said, when you see Russia closing up, in other words, isolating themselves, which they have done, okay, then you need to be looking for some of these other things to start to happen. Okay, I believe that there's a real crisis coming, but at the same time, it says there'll be a great outpouring of the Spirit. It says that those things will happen in troublesome times, and I'm sure that we're in troublesome times. Anyway, God bless you for listening to me. Okay, I hope that I have not discouraged you, but encouraged you, because it's just to tell you that where we are and what's going on, not to cause you to be fearful. Don't be fearful. Be thankful, because your redemption is drawing nigh.